Hello, I'm Ryan McEachern, and welcome back to The Dig. On this episode, I have returning guest Chris McCue, President and CEO of McCue Engineering. They just recently created a brand launch called PanAqua, a smarter, modular way of providing wastewater treatment that is scalable to the mining industry. But before we get talking to Chris, I want to bring back our producer, Brian Boland, to give us the 6 and 60 rundown, coming up right now.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Now let's get right to it. Workers at Glencore's Raglan nickel mine are on strike. The union walked off the job on May 27th, citing subcontracting and a lack of respect from the company. Sanctions? What sanctions? U.S. imports of Russian metal rose in Q1. One reason is the lack of alternative sources of supply. Colombian banks see no immediate threats ahead of the presidential runoff. In fact, banks are more concerned about operational economic risks. MGM Limited laid off about 3,000 workers at its Las Bambas copper mine in Peru due to a continued shutdown that began in April. European potash buyers were caught off guard by sanctions on Russia. Buyers have been left scrambling to find projects closer to home with shorter supply chains. And finally, a gold sector mega deal. Goldfields launched a friendly takeover of Yamana Gold valued at $8.26 billion. This will create the world's fourth largest gold miner. That is it for this week's 6 and 60. Now here's Ryan and Chris McCue.
Hi, Chris. It's great to have you back on The Dig.
Hey, Ryan. Thanks for having me.
And before we, not to put a pun in there, to dig into what you, some new news and a new brand offering, for people that haven't, may not know who you are, could you explain a little bit about what McCue Engineering is?
Sure. McCue Engineering Contractors is a engineering and manufacturing company specializing in water and wastewater treatment systems, predominantly for mining. We've been serving the mining industry in British Columbia and Western Canada for 10 years, and we're eager to move east and elsewhere.
Right, and so you're based in the Vancouver area?
That's correct, yes, Delta, BC.
Right. So, been seeing a lot of fanfare and a lot of communications from your company's Marcom group about this new brand. Please share with us, what's this all about?
Yeah, PanAqua. So over the course of many years, we have been working in the mining industry, and we have developed this technology through many projects and demands from our clients. And it occurred to us that we had started to develop our own brand. And so we have put this label on our equipment. We have some IP that's our own. We also have named this quality of the build that we are proud of and proud to bring to mining companies in Canada. And yeah, we really haven't changed what we're doing. We've just put a name to our work. Okay, and
I saw a little bit about the kind of the containers. There's some really nice graphics that you have of this branding. What are the real drivers here for you to go down this road?
Well, McCue Engineering Contractors is kind of abstract. It's hard to explain what it is we do, and we felt that having a brand would help people understand better what we're doing, what we're offering. Also, too, we're hoping that it makes it easier to sell our equipment, to show what it is that we've got, be able to describe it in terms of the individual components, the flexibility that the equipment offers, the ability to plug and play different components to meet the water quality that on whatever site it happens to be. And I think it just makes it easier for us to get the word out about what we're doing.
Right, and to what you mentioned before, you've been doing this for years now, and you've kind of built up a bit of an expertise in this set of solutions that you provide. And so it looks like you've kind of just found a way of doing it smarter and more compact. You mentioned plug and play. Is that kind of the real kind of key here? Is that you've just modularized your solutions in a much more smarter, simpler way?
Yeah, I think so. For the mining industry, we feel that the best kind of equipment for them is something that's durable, something that's practical and flexible. And so that's what we've tried to do. We've tried to make it so this equipment will survive not only its time on the mine site, but the trip into the mine site, which is often where all the damage occurs. So that's kind of the idea. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so that's why, because it's almost, these are containerized components that are easily shipped in, and then boom, plug and play. You're, like say, you're connecting these things, and I assume, like a lot of what you've done in the past too, these things can be scalable, but it's within this kind of this framework that you're offering now.
Yeah, like for example, if there's obviously a flow rate, a maximum flow rate that you can put through a container just based on the size of the container, and also the other constraint is what can fit onto the back of a truck. But what we can do is, and what we will do is, we can have different trains. So to increase the flow rate, we just put the system in series, multiple systems in series. And that allows not only for an increase in flow, but for the mining company to also to build them slowly on an as needed basis. The capital expenditure is a lot less if you can build one train and then a couple of years later build another train and then another train and then another train. So there's also that a benefit as well. Right,
because a lot of mining projects, that's what they always want to be able to see, that scalability and the ease of scaling, as opposed to a whole swap out. You're really just kind of adding to the solution.
Yeah, and new equipment as well. Like it could take 8-10 years before they need that final train. That's new equipment. But if they built their entire water treatment plant from at day one, by the time they need that capacity, the system's already 10 years old. So even if that one train needs to be replaced, it's a lot less of a capital expenditure to replace one train than it is to replace an entire water treatment plant. So there's benefits like that.
Okay. And so when you came up with the brand of PanAqua, so it's all things water, or what?
Yeah.
What is...
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, but I have a friend who's a writer. And when we came up with this, with the idea that we were going to have our own brand, and knowing that writers have all the words, I said to him, I texted him and said, "What's a word that means cure-all or solution to all?" And he started listing them up. He said elixir. He said tonic, and then he said Tenacia. And I was like, "What?" And I said, "That's it, right there. That's it." And so I just converted it to PanAqua, and now it means all water and also all solution. So we were quite happy about it and surprised that no one else had trademarked it yet. And we were able to go through and apply for the trademark. There is a diving company in New York who also is using the name, and so they have PanAqua.com. So we are PanAqua.ca.
Right. Well, it's always exciting to do a rebranding and go through that journey. We've done it as an association as well, so I can firsthand experience from my previous life and also in this organization. It's exciting to do. So where do you see PanAqua going? How do you see this moving forward?
Well, what we'd really like to do is we'd like to expand through a network of distributors or agents and sell this all over the world. We feel like if this equipment is good enough for mining in Canada, that it should be durable and practical and flexible enough for mining elsewhere in the world. And we really hope that PanAqua is going to help to get the word out, and looking forward to expanding to the world.
Well, it's definitely a popular approach to growth for companies. I've seen this before, and it sounds like there's a call out to the world for potential distributors. So I think it's exciting times for you right now, Chris. And like I said, that's quite the journey to go into a rebrand or a branding exercise. So congratulations on that and on the launch of PanAqua. And look forward to seeing the fruits of your labor come to bear. So thank you very much for being on the Dig to Share It.
Thanks, Ryan. It's been great.
That's it for this episode. I want to thank Chris McCue from McCue Engineering for being our guest on the show, and Brian Boland for doing the rundown on our 6 and 60. Follow us on Twitter at Mining Suppliers and on LinkedIn. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel to make sure you get all the episodes of the day. Until next time, I'm Ryan McEachern. Take care and stay safe.